that point, we don't even have we really don't even have to have chat. We can have comments on the video afterwards, but we don't have to have a live chat. YouTube's pretty cool, but or pretty easy on that.
Yeah.
It's pretty normal place.
Agreed. I'll be right back. I need to let the dog in.
So, Norma, a comment on your herd, real quick. Nothing crazy. An idea has been formed.
Okay.
So on Facebook, I'm in a couple of Facebook groups that actually have authors that I read on Kindle Unlimited.
Oh, wow.
So I was thinking about, especially once we get into chapter 2 and stuff, is if we can do I could like reach out to them and ask them for an autographed copy of the book, pay for it, all that jazz.
I love that.
That could be a giveaway.
I think that's a great idea.
That's a pretty cool idea.
And I'm going to ask for 3. One for me, one for you, and one for the giveaway.
Something else that I was thinking of would be kind of cool once we get a couple more members into your herd, and we could talk about this sideline, was a Kindle giveaway. Ooh. They're not that expensive. They're like $80, like for like a basic one. But I was thinking like there would be like obstacles for them to do. Like they have certain requirements. Like you have to like our page, follow us on Twitter, be a active book club member, things like that.
Subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I like that idea. That's pretty cool.
I was thinking about it today. I also had ideas for a merch giveaway with a new logo. We could do like bookmarks and a tote bag to carry your books in. I have some creative ideas that we'll have to talk about sideline.
I have an idea. What if you put the herd logo on a Kindle case?
I like that, like a sticker.
I would love to have the herd logo on the Kindle case, on my Kindle case.
Let me know your idea, the bookmark, because I have a laminator and I have cardstock, so I can put it up and do it homebrew style.
I was literally looking at Crickets and printers today, and I was just like, I just got my taxes. It's supposed to go into saving. What can I spend it on?
Oh yeah, we already spent all ours.
My aunt, she makes t-shirts and stuff. And I asked her about it last time I was in town. I was like, what can you tell me about making t-shirts? And she's like, well, what do you want to know? I was like, well, I don't know anything. So what can you tell me? She's like, it literally ends, and then went on this like hour-long rant about
screen printing. I follow like creative TikTok, so like making shirts is like in one facet is a lot. There's a lot of them. I don't have my one-liner. What's our order, Keylid?
What's our order?
Watch your pros.
I know. Crazy, Norma, Peach, me.
I want to go up after Ethan.
All right. After Ethan, got it.
Can I go -1? So I'm still first.
Yeah, you're just a loser. Just kidding.
Tell you what. You can go right now, and then the theme song will start.
I love that. This is what happens when you let me go first. I am first.
Hold on. I got you here. All right, Ethan, go first.
This is what happens when you let me go first. I am first.
The topics we discuss are many.
No story too bold to talk about.
Strictly our own opinions.
But they are opinions from people like you.
Welcome to the NAKE'd podcast.
Yay, I'm first.
All I have is the Brady Bunch song stuck in my head now. It's your girl, NJ.
I have a 3DS. DM Tech Allen. What's up?
if you ever want me to recite a Silverstein poem for you, just please let me know. Hey, it's Keelan.
Has to be
No
from
idea
the end of the sidewalk.
Not gonna lie, I missed being on the podcast, guys. I missed the podcast last week.
Dude,
So
I used to have Falling Up and Where the Sidewalk Ends, but now I only have Falling Up.
Oh,
I remember in school there was like a UIL group for like pros, and mine that I did to audition for it was I have a big sister. She's taller and older from Chelsea Silverstein, and I didn't make it. Sorry. Too many people read the same poem.
damn it.
It was actually crazy one year in my high school. I think it was like my freshman or sophomore year. We were taking our tax test in April, and it started snowing outside.
What?
But that snow was nothing compared to what we just went through. Y'all, Snowmageddon was real.
Oh my
Dude.
god.
I know I was trapped in a house with somebody.
I felt like I was fighting for my life.
I know it seemed like another day around here. Just everything's been so crazy the last year.
It was just like a weekend week.
Yeah,
It reminded me of March 2020.
it was a weekend that was so long. I didn't want it to be the weekend anymore.
It's the
But-
best way to put it.
But did you feel it coming? Was it feel it or see it coming? I forget how the lyric
Feel-
goes.
Feel it
I
coming.
know.
Okay.
I was just thinking of
No.
every weekend song I know. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a Daft Punk song, I think.
Well, yeah, no,
he was
yours was
featured on
Daft
it.
Punk, but I was thinking the weekend.
But no, they produced a song for the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know they also produce. Wait, no, I'm thinking about 303. 303 has produced a lot of different songs too, like from like Taylor Swift to Maroon 5. Like it's crazy the stuff they do. Anyway, back to Snowmageddon.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
So I know a lot of people really weren't fortunate this last week and have even had existing problems into this week.
Mhm.
And fortunately, we were not some of those people.
Lucky.
We did experience, the blackouts, and we had our water freezes, but honestly, we made it out virtually unscathed. Knock on wood.
Yeah, we were very fortunate indeed. I mean, like it got
Mhm.
rough, but we were able to escape to y'all's house.
Thank you so much for y'all's hospitality.
We
For
miss
the
you
night.
guys.
We were only there for one day, and I left my dice there.
Oh my
Your
god, he was
dice,
so
your dog food, and the dog bowl. It's all in a bag waiting for you.
You can keep the
He-
dog food.
he was like, my dice. And I was like, you are not gonna need dice this week. And he's just like, you never know. And I was like, you have all of my dice. He's like, but they're not mine.
All I have is these amazing dice that you gave me, but I have nothing else.
Yeah, he only has the best right now.
Yeah, I only have the best.
Yeah,
But
the
I,
best of the best.
I don't want to outuse their luck. That's why I hardly roll them.
All right, Elin, can you do me a favor because you're driving me crazy? So when my camera's doing what yours is doing, I just push the wire into the camera in the back of it, and it stops doing it.
My camera is connected. The wire doesn't come out.
I know mine doesn't either.
Thank you. So Snowmageddon. There were several people without power. How many people was it initially? You guys know? It was like 2
All
million.
of Texas. Let's just say all
Yeah.
of Texas because every single county in the state of Texas went into a weather emergency, state of emergency. So
True.
And
Every single county was pink, right?
yeah, it
was
was the
that
first time.
the first time in our recorded history?
Mm-hmm.
That every county, yeah.
Oh my god, the snow is so beautiful, but not without power.
I know Snicker was reminded of home.
Hey Snickers, what's up?
So that's like, so two of the guys I work with, right? One's he's from Washington, one of them's from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. And I asked both of them, I was like, does this remind you of home? They're like, too much. This is why I fucking moved to Texas.
That's kind of funny.
I tried to get Snowpocalypse going, but everybody was going with Snowmageddon, and I was kind of salty about it.
I like Snowmageddon better.
I like Snowpocalypse.
It's easy to say, but I like Snowpocalypse because it makes it seem like we're dramatic.
Yeah, but at the same time, like if you think of an Armageddon, right, it's gonna hit dust cloud. Like I always think Armageddon is gonna be an asteroid because of the movie, right?
Mhm.
So you always think an asteroid's gonna hit, it's gonna be a barren wasteland, which that's what it felt like. Apocalypse feels more like Mad Max, where there's just crazy people doing insane things all over the place.
You know,
Have you been to the grocery store lately?
Oh yeah, but we strategically chose our grocery stores, right? Like so we
Mhm.
went to the one on the outskirts of town. Like we drove all the way out to 1604 and went out there because we know they always had power, right? They're on
Mhm.
their own little grid out area. And then we also went to the HEB that's closest to the HEB warehouse.
Ooh, that's a good idea. The one on 35.
Yeah, the one on Walsham. Yeah, that's where we found all like they had all the basics. They had
Dang.
everything like meats, cheese, milk, eggs, paper towels, toilet
Mhm.
paper.
For those
Milk
of
and eggs are the only. Oh, sorry.
I'll just go ahead and finish.
I was just say milk, eggs, and bread are the only things that we haven't been able to we didn't find yesterday when we went grocery shopping, but we got like pretty much majority of our regular groceries.
We're supposed to have grilled cheese and tomato soup today. Instead, we're having zoodles and chicken meatballs.
Hell yeah,
sounds
gluten free.
Fuck yeah.
So if I just had a bread pan, right, I would make bread. Like I
Oh,
have a bread maker and I've made bread in it before, but it doesn't make good sandwich bread. It only makes like dessert breads.
I have a bread pan. We could try it if you
Oh, super
want.
easy. I have a good
Yeah.
recipe.
Yeah, nice. So for those of you guys who aren't Texas natives, HEB is basically like our grocery store. Like
A way of
no
life.
other grocery store does more than HEB because they donate so much money, they give away so much food. There are people. So when San Antonio lost power, there were people inside HEBs, and the people who were there. The workers were just like, yeah, take it home. We can't stop you. We can't charge you. It's
That
all gonna
was
go bad. Go.
hmm Yeah, that was one case in Leander, Texas, which I thought was kind of. They're just gonna throw it away anyway for the
Mhm.
most part.
I can tell you the ones in San Antonio, unless the main network at the headquarters is down, they will not go down at all.
I've been in the I've been there. I've seen the data center. It's amazing. Nice and
Yeah.
cold.
What a dork.
I have a miniature
Anytime
data
you walk
center.
into a data center and it has a raised floor, it's a quality data center.
So let's talk about I guess like how this happens. Of course, like snow, right? Our infrastructure, our roadways are just not designed to, handle that kind of weather because we don't get that kind of weather. So there was a lot of people learned the name ERCOT with this whole thing, which is basically a commission or a nonprofit commission that oversees our electric grid, from my understanding.
What does ERCOT stand for again? That's ERCOT, right?
I don't know. Yeah, you're right, but
Yeah,
I don't know what it stands
that
for.
is right.
Uh,
I
I f-
forgot one of their orders that they issued on the 14th, but it's in my bag.
Electric Reliability Council of Texas.
Yeah, it's an independent council.
So, what exactly happened in order, like, for all of Texas to lose its power?
Everything that could go wrong went wrong. We had it on every single front. So the heat and the snow mixed to make ice, which froze our windmills. The icy wind froze our windmills. The snow blanketed our acres of solar fields, which dropped them down to like 10%. When everybody turned on the gas at their homes, it sucked out gas from the natural gas plants, which froze the lines at the time, making blockages, which they had to undo. I know in San Antonio, we run off a boiler system, more or less. So we use coal to heat the boiler, where other places use natural gas or trash or other things. We use coal. Well, the lake that fed our plant, one of our plants, had ice buildup, so they had to stop the intake, which delayed that running, and untold other things that we can't even get into right now. So you just pile it on, and we were down on every front.
I just want to
Yeah.
take a moment to say thank you so much to all the blue collar workers out there, like whether they're out there, on those lines, fixing transformers, water people, people in retail, like, thank you.
Thank you,
People
guys.
out till in the middle of the night in the snow hooking up generators.
Yeah.
I remember this one long hair dude came out to like this hotel I was staying at, walked over. I think he was with his dad. He was a young guy and an old guy. They started collecting all these lines to this hotel.
So I can tell one story, a quick story, real quick. So, I was hooking up temporary 18-wheeler generators to uh the areas for people to go make warm, right? The
Mhm.
emergency areas. And the generator pulls up, we start unrolling the cords. And I mean, the first cord I'm unrolling, a guy walks and goes, "Oh, so the generator's here. How long before it's hooked up?" I'm just like, it's 10 degrees. It's snowing. I'm working out here. Just go back to your car. Just go back to your car.
Fuck off.
Pretty
Sir,
much.
I'm gonna need you to walk away
Yeah.
before I use your body as fuel.
He's either gonna catch a cold or he's gonna catch these hands.
No, honestly, so the guy we had outside, when he was done doing that, like the final hookup outside, when he came inside, he went crunch, crunch, crunch because his clothing started to freeze.
Holy
Oh,
shit. That
I
must
stayed inside in the
we had,
warm.
we had some
Nah, it
serious
wasn't
wind
warm.
chill though, right?
Oh yeah, it was bad. That night it was bad.
So, other than that just being bad, I'm seeing news articles about people who never lost power during any of Snowmageddon or Snowpocalypse, but they're being charged anywhere between $5,000 to $17,000 for their electricity. Mind
I
you,
thought that was the hoax. That's like real life. Like people are actually
that's
being charged that.
that's real life.
So I've actually have our mayor on Facebook, and all he's been doing these last like 2 or 3 days is posting like ordinances about making sure CPS doesn't do this.
Mhm.
About if you feel that your prices have been price gouged, there's a hotline you can call, and information. So Abbott fixed that.
Oh, Abbott fixed it?
Abbott's been working on it as well.
Nice.
He also
So
issued an investigation into ERCOT too.
yeah,
Mhm.
well, and that's the thing. ERCOT was established by Rick Perry, which Rick Perry's last years, I don't think he was really there.
He absolutely wasn't. He was preparing for Dancing with the Stars.
No,
He was a shitty
tried
dancer
for,
too.
he tried for his presidential run. He was like, "Peace out,
Yeah,
Texas."
he gave up governor because he thought he was going to be president.
And he ended up on
I
Dancing
wonder
with the
if the
Stars.
compound lost power.
But one thing that a lot of people, people who aren't familiar with San Antonio, we have city public service, which is our electric, and there are only people we can get electric from here.
Mhm.
They own San Antonio.
Yeah.
So most of the time, if like the mayor or the governor doesn't step in, it's either pay what we tell you or you don't get power. Those are your two options, usually
Yep.
with CPS. So it's good to hear that they're stepping in and giving some backup to people.
Mhm.
For sure.
But I don't understand why you would why they would charge somebody $17,000. Like I don't,
So
because they set a yearly kilowatt per hour that they charge.
Mhm. Well, some people aren't in a locked-in rate. They're in a floating rate, or however the terminology is. Some people saw their prices go from like 9 cents per megawatt to $9 per megawatt. I may be using that terminology wrong. Please correct me, Ethan. You're a resident electrical guy.
No, no, you're right. But so I know San Antonio, well, CPS. I'm not speaking on the rest of it. So CPS is only San Antonio.
Yeah.
CPS locks in rate for 1 year.
Yeah.
They do adjust it yearly. So I don't see that happening in San Antonio. But there are some what you're talking about, those people paying that, I think they're part of the co-ops. So like Bandera is a Bandera co-op. So technically everybody owns the power plant. So if the power plant had to buy in elsewhere to bring in more power, that would be understandable why they have such a high rate.
I know that Texas was receiving like 600. I don't know if it's kilowatts, like from other states like surrounding, but then like
I
Tuesday
think
they cut it
Louisiana
off.
and New Mexico are the
Yeah.
only ones that we are tied to.
Okay,
And we can buy from them, but that's it.
but I
I
know a lot of us
saw-
without power.
I saw a meme and it was just like El Paso with its like superior power grid compared to the whole state because they actually get snow. And I thought it was funny. I'm like, well, El Paso can finally say they're good at one thing. 'Cause when you talk about major cities, you don't think about El Paso.
El Paso's a major
Sorry, El
city.
Pasoans.
Dude,
Sorry,
I can
guys. I'm
honestly
sorry.
say, I never thought that El Paso was as big as it was until I went there, like as an adult. Like I
It's
went there, I
huge.
was like, God, this is humongous. Just like lights go
mountains.
on, it's flat. So the whole city's flat, but it's just so spread out.
Damn.
There's mountains. There's
Well,
mountains
yeah.
on the north side. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the terrain is not flat, but the city itself is almost flat. Like every building is a 2-story building. Like that's it.
You know, whenever I think of El Paso, I don't think of like major city. Like I've never been to El Paso. Hopefully one day I'll be able to go. Once the
Shout out
pandemic's
Tico's
over.
Tacos.
Yeah.
I would
Shout
live
out.
in El Paso.
I only have
Honestly,
the fun tacos because of Fluffy.
out of all the cities, like I would live in San Antonio or El Paso. Those were like my top two out of the major cities.
I think I would just live in San Antonio. But going back to it, whenever I think of El Paso, I think McAllen. Like growing up in a border town, you don't really go to bigger cities. So
when I went to El Paso, I expected Laredo. And in its place, I got like
Dallas.
Houston with 2-story buildings.
Really?
Well, not as big as Houston, but like that vibe, like just a big city.
I've never been that west Texas. I think Lubbock is probably the farthest west I've been.
I touched all 4 of Texas.
I think the
Not Lubbock,
millennials are going to
Laredo.
need to do a road trip to El Paso.
Hey guys, remember this time last year we were doing a field trip to NASA?
That was fun.
Let's go back.
So great.
What does El Paso have?
El Paso does have one of the big telescopes, I believe, don't they?
Ooh.
All right, there you go.
I'm down. I'm down. We should
They
do
also
that.
have UTEP, so
But
University of Texas at El Paso.
You know what I enjoyed most about Snowmageddon?
What?
The fact that going to your place and just watching movies and just hanging out. Like you don't really get to do that anymore.
I know nobody had their phone. It was so weird. Oh, I mean, we had our phones, but
Yeah, but we got
they
to.
weren't usable. We didn't have internet.
Yeah, but
we
we
finally
got
got to play.
Mhm.
Sorry, Beach.
I was just gonna
Sorry,
say
Beach.
we. No, you're fine. You're fine. I just wanted to say we got to binge some stuff while we were there.
And play Cards Against Disney.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah,
so
that
much.
was fun. Like,
Can't
I'm
believe I
totally in
won.
for mixing it into regular Cards Against Humanity. Like, Keelan doesn't want to because of the coloration. Like, it'd be easy to tell. But at this point, I was like, yeah, I don't think the colors would matter. Just mix the red with the blacks and the whites with the whites, and we're good.
That sounds like a bad joke.
I know that came out totally wrong. Don't clip that.
Anyway,
It was about
binging.
Cards Against Humanity cards.
Well, while we were playing cards against Disney, somebody was boarding a flight to Cancun, and
And
there's
you,
a lot of different there's a lot of different opinions about it. So, what do you guys think about Ted Cruz?
I
So
wish I were him.
yeah, I got one question for y'all too that we thought about today a little bit.
Sure.
On principle, what was the difference between him going to Mexico to take his family someplace warm and safe, and y'all coming to our house? Principle wise,
We didn't leave the state.
no.
Here's my take. Like, I get what you're saying. You know, like he wanted to do what he needed to do for his family, which
Mhm.
understandable. I just don't think that he should have flown them down when there's so much he could do here. But we don't know what kind of work he did, you know, on the way back, or what was in the works, or what he was waiting for, because at that point we didn't have a lot of answers. We're kind of just waiting for us to kind of get by.
Mhm.
I do think that the optics of it were were just
Yeah,
shitty.
no, we can all agree that
He should have been
it was a
straightforward with
horrible
us.
decision to make
Mhm.
as a leader. But in the other hand, do we want our politicians to be full-time politicians, or do we want them to be people who are also politicians?
See, that's why I asked, are the senators involved with disasters in the state that they're representing, or is it the governor? Because if the senators aren't involved, then I mean the
No,
entire
this was
idea.
a
Mhm.
so this was a totally a state matter. Like this
Okay.
was on so we have our governor, our House of Representatives, and our Senate.
Mhm.
Like this whole situation and decisions on how Texas spent its budget preparing for this was totally on all of them.
Okay, then
Like
it's totally
on
fine.
government wise, there was nothing a senator can do.
Mhm.
Like they can't call a power plant and say, add more coal. You know what I mean? Like
My name is Ted Cruz, the Zodiac. Oh, don't. Sorry. Hold on. Here's my brother, Ted Cruz. I'm Ted
no,
He's
no,
Cruz.
more
Add
wasn't
more
like
it?
coal.
fluffy. He's more
So
like
Trump
fluffy
used to call
Wolverine now.
yeah, Trump used to call him Lion Ted or whatever.
Yeah,
And now
Lion
they
Ted.
call now they call him Hiding Ted.
So, if
I think that a lot of people, I think this is where education really comes into hand, of like knowing that. I mean, I didn't really put that together either myself. Personally, I was like, must be nice to be on a flight to Cancun. But the other part of me was like, I mean, what else could he have done? Like, you know, more than our city managers or our governor, you know, like I feel like we got a lot of communication from our mayor here in San Antonio. We got a
Mhm.
ton of communication from our governor, you know, and regardless of, you know, if you voted for them or not, you know, like they were doing their jobs. And I think the optics of it were crazy. Ted Cruz is more in the public eye nowadays,
Mhm.
especially with his beef with AOC, which, by the way, I kind of think it's great that she raised money. I just
Mhm.
kind of feel like she did that
I
on
don't even want
purpose,
her money. Yeah. I
just to
don't want
spite
her money.
Ted Cruz. I think that's kind of where it came from.
So,
And I think that the
Everything
people who
she
were
does though, hold on before we move on. I just gotta say one thing about her. Everything she does is always for good PR, right? So she needed good PR for saying Texas needed the Green New Deal, which none of the Green New Deal would have helped it in that matter, right?
no, it's
So she
shitty
said something
preparedness.
stupid and she needed good PR, so she raised 3 million. What? That's like a quarter from each of her followers that regularly engage her, right? So it's not even like a lot of money.
No, dude.
It's like, we don't even want your money, AOC. Give it to somebody who was give it to a small business that was burned down during the riot.
No,
Thank
it
you.
wasn't even her supporters. That was her Twitch payout.
Right?
What were you saying, Keelan?
Oh yeah,
the only thing that I really thought was petty was we did see some activity from Beto.
I was gonna ask, yeah.
He called a lot
It
of
is.
people, a lot of things moving. And a lot of people were just like, oh my God, you know, y'all voted for Cruz. He's going to Cancun, and here Beto is doing his thing. And it's like, But if Beto had been senator, what do you think, he could have done?
Mhm.
Because we really established that the senator can't do too much. And a lot of people didn't vote for Beto, or that might have voted for Beto and then come to find out, that he wanted to take away Texans' guns. Now they're saying, oh, he's such a great guy. So it's just kind of like I'm really glad that Beto did what he did to help.
Mhm.
I don't
I'm
know if
thankful for the help.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have been able to do the same help had he been senator. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I could see that.
And I don't think he shouldn't help if he's helping to get publicity.
Mhm. That's
I would
why
agree there.
that's kind of the
I'm
reason.
thankful for the help. I'm glad that he did help in the manner he did. But if he did any of it for publicity, I'm out.
That's kind of the reason why I asked. Is a in our political corner in our Discord, is a senator supposed to be involved? Because if he's not supposed to be involved, and to something that you said earlier, Ethan, you said, do you want our senators to be full-time representatives? No, I don't. The whole aspect of representation is supposed to be a part-time job. As a matter of fact, in the early days of the Constitution, senators weren't even paid.
Yeah.
Some senators go without even receiving like $50,000. I think I don't remember if McCain was one of them when he was still in office before he passed away.
But that might be an old number because currently they all make about $430,000 a year.
But there's like 2 or 3 states
Just
left
throw
that don't
that
pay
out
them.
there.
Yeah.
That one passes through, without any objection. It's like bipartisan all the way. Yep, raise, let's do it.
I say that all senators should be paid the average of what the people in their state make.
That was Ted Cruz. What was the other thing?
I was gonna say bring it in. So
Yeah.
one of the reasons I think Ted Cruz was thrown into the spotlight so hard, and certain media outlets targeted him the manner they did, because come on, let's go. They went to his house. People were at his house. They
Mhm.
got his wife's text messages.
What?
Yeah.
There
Mhm.
was a lot of invasive maneuvers that happened that I was like, whoa, this was way too far. But at the same time, it came up that Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, who was spotlighted by the Biden administration for his work on COVID, he wrote a New York bestseller, New York Times best-selling book about his COVID response, and he did all the interviews. He was the Democrats' go-to guy to talk on TV. Well, he's being investigated for the death of 13,000 elderly people
Oh
after
yeah.
his direct orders to send the sick COVID people into nursing homes, which would put him directly responsible for all those deaths. So as the FBI breaks news of this happening, hours later, Ted Cruz is spotted climbing onto a plane, and now that's all the media is talking about.
I didn't even hear about that.
Exactly, yeah.
I honestly, honest to God, the only reason I know even just that Andrew Cuomo was in big heat was because of Philip DeFranco, and he covered a little bit of it, but even then, like, that's still pretty significant.
They nail his ass to the wall. Like, that's awful. Those poor people.
Hey Des, how are
Yes.
you doing? I know we all said hi to you
Yeah,
in chat, but just wanted to acknowledge you on the stream.
yeah, so it's just like, was some of it convenient? You know what I mean? Was he
Mhm.
an scapegoat to be thrown into thrown in the spotlight?
Well, Ted says that his daughters were off of school and they wanted to go away, and his wife went with them. As there are even reports that he took his college roommate, which I don't believe. Like,
So
I don't
I
understand.
can't,
But
but
was that
I can't fault the guy for anything,
Mhm.
because in my book, he wasn't Congress was not in session. So technically, he wasn't
Mhm.
skipping work. He wasn't doing anything wrong work wise.
Mhm.
The kids weren't coming out of school. He didn't get on a private jet. He was on a commercial flight.
Mhm.
It was just like, What's wrong?
I
What's
don't see
bad?
anything wrong. Like I agree. You know, at first I was mad that he left. I called him a coward when I saw it, but when I actually calmed down and got to thinking of it, like no, he wasn't. He's not necessary in this portion. Like you can go wherever the fuck you want. I'm just glad that Abbott and everyone else kind of stayed here to try to do something.
And did y'all also notice that nobody's really said anything about Biden involved in the situation? Like, technically, Texas was in a state of emergency, the entire state. Where was the
Biden
president?
Biden declared a state of emergency.
Abbott.
Well, yeah. So he just did the Michael Scott, I declare an emergency. And I was like, but just if we go off the last 4 years, the response from the previous administration was to be expected to be forefront and involved in every aspect of it.
Mhm.
And I haven't seen that expectation on this administration yet.
That's a fair assumption. I was thinking the same thing too. Um, just thinking about it, like, where's Biden in all this? Like, the help, we need help, like Texas is here. And I haven't really heard too much. It's been more so from our local leadership that I personally have been paying more attention to.
We didn't
So
hear anything from our congressman.
the one article I saw about what was Biden doing during Texas, well, he was like, I got them fire going in the Oval Office, and I like to put a log on, every once in a while myself, and just maintain that. And I like to play Mario Kart with my grandkids. Like they were just going off about that interview. Like that's what he was doing. He was playing Mario Kart and tending his fire in the Oval Office. Like,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised no one had a finger guns meme ready.
Right.
That's probably the thing that I look forward to most with Biden being president are the Biden memes. Like, can we please bring those back?
Right. I've been waiting. There hasn't been any good ones just yet.
There hasn't been.
I
They've
think all
been
the
really
good.
hiding him.
I think all the good ones were from Obama Biden era.
Well,
But
yeah,
we'll
but
see. We'll
also
see.
Biden or the Biden administration, as
Biden.
Biden called it. That's what he's been calling it. But anyway, so like they were a lot more out in the spotlight, and I don't think Biden's really stepped out of the Oval Office since he's been a president. I haven't seen him go anywhere. Like they showed him going home one time, but besides that, he's been on lock and key.
Going home
I mean,
where? To his
to
private
Delaware.
chamber? Oh, okay.
Yeah, to Delaware, his private residence. So he flew Air Force One for 15 minutes to go to his private residence.
Same.
Do you think he watched the Britney doc?
Dude, I bet.
I was just thinking of how to transition to that. Thank you for doing that.
Why is everyone always protecting Biden? Hey, ting, ting.
Hey, leave Biden alone.
Oh, that was funny. That's perfectly timed.
Dude, and if you go and watch the Chris Crocker video Leave Britney Alone, like especially after the documentary, it makes so much sense.
Yep.
He really just wanted to help protect her in some sort of way or fashion. Because I'm gonna call us just common people. We don't really understand the pressures and everything that the artists, musicians, singers, actresses, actors go through on a performing basis, on a daily basis, to bring us what we the entertainment we love.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're watching some big scandal happen to the celebrity, it's like, oh no, why can't they get their life together? And we don't realize just how much is coming at them from different angles. This Britney documentary really opened up, especially my eyes, because I remember when she was making her comeback with the Give Me More at the VMA performance. And I'm like, she's not ready to be on stage. Her body is out of whack. She can't dance. You can tell she's lip singing. Like, I'll be honest, I was very critical. Not that I had any room to be critical. And rewatching it, it's just like, damn. She was 26, 27, 28 when all this was going down, our age. Like, can you imagine going through the pressure she did?
Yeah.
So, like in the documentary, like I really came to understand that Britney Spears was never her own person, even from a young age. Like she did it to like, yeah, she was good at it, and then she got into Mickey Mouse Club. She got to live a regular life a little bit. And then it was kind of like taken away from her. She had a handler, everybody made decisions for her. And she just felt like she had to be this all American girl. Even like the paparazzis at the beginning, she would have conversations with them because she's like, I have maybe felt pressured to keep like a certain image up of herself. That's kind of my take.
Well, and they mentioned that she made all of her decisions, from the choreography to the lighting to the meetings that she had with her managers. She handled every single decision about what was going to happen and what was going on until the breakup with Justin Timberlake. That is when everything spiraled out of control for her.
I have a question for you guys. After watching that, do you look at Justin Timberlake a little differently?
I've always thought he was a douche.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like, so from watching this, I felt like he was her John Mayer and she was Taylor Swift, right? To put it in perspective. Like, if she would have wrote every love song to get him back. And he was just like, hell yeah, I hit that. You know what I mean? Like that was he was there to hit it, and she was there for the love. And that was like her first true love, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you have your psychotic breakdown when your heart's broken and trampled on.
I think that their whole relationship was a publicity, and she thought that once it ended, it was going to be amicable and they were going to be okay, until people kept pressuring her, and he was like, yeah, I hit it, and all that, all that other stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty disgusting of him to just like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, we tapped it. Like, nah, dude.
Okay, yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
It was a throwaway for him, and it ruined her whole career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It ruined her whole image.
It did.
Yeah.
And then watching the media interview her after that was disgusting. Like disgusting. Like, like, oh, like, well, what did you do, Britney? Like, what did you do? Like, it was just gross. And you see her just trying to keep it together, and she's trying to like, be on her image, be on brand. And then she has like a breakdown. Like, it was Diane Sawyer was interviewing her, and that interview with Matt Lauer like pissed me the fuck off. It was terrible.
Like, knowing the things we know about him now is like, okay, now that's why he was so disgusting.
Exactly. And then the paparazzis.
I think
Like,
that's
oh my
what drove
God.
her crazy. So
The videographer.
yeah, you got
I hate
all
him.
the pressure and all the bullshit that life was putting her through at that moment. And then every like free moment you have people just in your face with a flashing camera would drive me fucking insane. I would have shot one of them, like,
Yeah.
honestly, at
Yeah.
that point.
Like, I could understand, when paparazzi's first forming, it's like, oh, that's cute. Look at them. They're wanting to follow me. Like, you kind of feel nice about it. But then they start,
kept their distance.
yeah, they kept their distance. They were respectful. And then the money for the picture started increasing. So they more aggressive. And the videographer, well, why didn't you back off? Well, she never said, leave me alone. What about when she told you to leave me alone? Well, it was,
She literally
leave me
said, fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, we left her alone for the
wanted my
day.
picture. I told her, I want my picture and that's it, and I'll leave you alone. Like, no, like that's not how personal space. Like, no,
No means no.
No wonder she shaved her head. Her hair was something she could control, and she says, I just wanted to stop touching me. All these fucking people are touching her all the fucking time, invading her space. Then she marries K-Fed. Like her life is a spectacle and she doesn't get to be adult. Can you imagine our age now living the life that she lived?
So moving on to Kevin Farrell. I got some theories there.
K-Fed.
K-Fed.
I think it actually a good thing for her at that moment because she wanted a sense of normalcy and that's what he wanted. But also, I think Kevin got custody, right? He got, with everything going on in her life, it would be easy to understand why a judge would give him the say over the children. So I would think he would say, "Hey, you can't see the kids if you're gonna bring those paparazzis over to the house. The kids are not gonna be around that."
But how is she
So
gonna
when
control that?
exactly, that's why it drove her crazy. So when she
Yeah.
shows up to the gate to see the kids and the paparazzis are there
Hmm.
and she's not allowed in, and then she freaks out, I think that's one of the reasons that led to her shaving her head too. Like
This
that all
was
makes
after this
sense.
was the umbrella incident.
Mhm.
Oh,
Hmm.
that was the umbrella incident. Okay, yeah. So
Mhm.
like yeah, you will because of the paparazzi, I can't see my kids. I'm gonna go fucking insane is totally understandable.
Yeah. I'll be honest, when the shaved Britney incident happened, I was extremely critical. Like, oh, Britney's going fucking crazy. Who would have guessed?
I think
But
everybody did though.
yeah. And
Pretty
now
sure
I
my mom
just
had a T-shirt that said, "If Britney can survive 2007, I can survive this year."
And I have to say that I had chuckled at that before I saw this documentary and understood a little bit more about Britney. Like just looking at her Instagram, like she is not well. And then now that she's
Mhm.
back, I've seen her post and they've been a little uplifted a little bit more
Mhm.
after everything was said and done with the current status of the conservatorship.
yeah,
I
she
was
she got back her conservatorship, right?
No,
yeah,
it partnered with a bank. It's a
Oh yeah.
co-conservatorship, and then there was an update
that was for her
recently.
So
financial, but there's
yeah.
been no update for her person.
So the whole documentary really landed on the free Britney that she shouldn't be in a conservative, but I can see how everything that they put her through, she wouldn't be mentally well, right? It's
Yeah.
easy to say. And
Mhm,
mental illness is not something that can just disappear. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
mhm.
Like majority of the time, you're gonna have to deal with it for the majority of your life, right?
Yeah.
So I could see why they still want a conservatorship over her, but at the same time, they should take her feelings into effect, and you know, like her mom and dad should be doing it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting how the involvement of her parents definitely migrated throughout her life. Because in her early years, it was her mom, then it was her assistant handler, and then now with the conservatorship, all of a sudden her dad's involved.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially when he made comments like, "Oh, Britney's gonna buy me a boat one day."
But I mean, at the same
I'm gonna say
time,
that about
if you saw your child have a completely mental breakdown,
Mhm.
on national TV, wouldn't you take some of the blame and want to like, well,
Help her.
maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, like I need
Yes,
to be here now.
and help her instead of getting her back into a performance shape, having her release music, videos, guest star appearances, like all
How
of a sudden
co
everywhere.
how queen was she? That Vegas thing, she just came up and she walked right the fuck away. I thought she was a total queen for that. She
I
was
don't
like,
think that
"I'm."
was her choice. I
Hmm?
think they decided not to go with the announcement, and so she had nothing to announce.
Well, I personally think that she probably made the
Hey, Devils.
decision and she had to do it. Otherwise, they should have just canceled it because optics wise, like that was kind of eh, you know. I think that she probably was like, okay, well, my obligation is to show up and I'm gonna show up. And she just walked away. That was my take on it. I could be very wrong.
I thought it was a baller move.
Also, Andrew Wallet. What a slimy little scumbag that guy is. You should not use a conservatorship, especially for something like mental illness. Like, you cannot exploit that as a business opportunity for yourself. Like, yeah, it could be a lot to deal with, like contracts and everything, not, but like at the end of the day, your job is the well being of somebody and how they're being taken care of.
Well, I mean, back in 2007, mental illness wasn't even really a thing. Hey, Devils. Like
Yeah, that was for devils. I waved.
it,
I don't know that.
like we didn't start considering mental illness until recently, right? Like
Been more.
2014.
Well, we always had, you always hear about
Mhm.
the old insane asylum. So I think we were aware and we did stuff for mental health, not always the best stuff,
Mhm.
but we at least tried things. And then in the 70s, we kind of stopped. And then 80s, 90s, it
Yeah.
kind of flared back up. And now we're like, hey, we got to kind of talk about this, guys.
Yeah, they used to call us hippies.
No, I think they should have, given a timeline, especially when this was supposed to be considered a temporary conservatorship. Had her meet with a therapist on some sort of basis so that they could monitor that and track her progression instead of
Mhm.
just her to perform and not even considering it. And I thought it was fantastic when the one interviewer asked the lawyer if she had ever seen somebody come off of a conservatorship. And after she realized that they hadn't, she went back to the legal team. I loved that.
But for her father.
Mhm.
I think they were at the end of the thing. They said that was one of the leading points that like led them to at least get the financial split.
That's good.
Mhm.
And that was the other
But
fucked up thing. The fact that she's paying for her lawyers, her dad lawyers, and now her mother's lawyers for all of this.
Paid everybody's lawyers.
But like, why?
so that's the other thing. When you become that big and you're not a person anymore, you're more of a business.
Yeah.
So what do? For if she needs the care, she needs money. How you gonna make money? You gotta force her to perform. Like I could see some reasons why, but her dad made her perform too much.
Mhm.
Like they say, if you're depressed, try something new or, do something that makes you happy. Evidently performing made her happy. So I could see why like a psychiatrist could be like, maybe you should do this Vegas thing. Maybe it will help you, get in a better mindset. But
I think the video performance really, really did help her.
yeah,
The
Because
residency. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
it
it's
helped
a
her
lot
be
less
back.
pressure and it's more fun, I
Routine.
guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think, guys, in that poll in chat.
We love you too, Ryzen. Hello.
Hey, Ryzen. I want to live to see the day where Britney Spears is no longer in a conservatorship.
I just
So,
hope that she's happy. That's
Mhm.
that's what I really want. Like when it comes to like her mental health or anything, I'm not a doctor. I don't know her personally. She gets to put out to the world on Instagram like what she wants people to see. And I think ultimately, like as a fan of Britney Spears, like Lucky is one of my favorite songs by Britney Spears. I I just want her to be happy and I want her to see her kids and I want her to be a mom. Like that's what she talked about. She's like, I just want a family. And I hope she gets that.
Same. Like, speaking a little personal, like, there was a time where there was a possibility that I wouldn't be able to see my son as our son as frequently as possible, and thinking about a future like that hurts. Like it I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Maybe my enemies, but not anyone else. Like nobody deserves
I
that.
think
I just can't think of the mental toll it would take. Like, especially like, just think about it. If your ex-wife said, you can't come around with a paparazzi, but everywhere you go, there's a paparazzi. So that means you never get to see your kid. And it's that paparazzi's fault. So like, what would be your first reaction? I'd grab a samurai sword and start swinging. You know what I mean? Like I understand why she went at him with a umbrella.
I think I'd go
And
buy
on
an
top
AR-15 and just walk around with it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Red flag,
of
red flag.
Hey, I
it's
didn't say it
legal in
was loaded.
Texas.
Yeah, it is legal in Texas. Open carry.
I don't know. Maybe.
Partially.
and on top of all of that, in order to get out of this conservatorship, she has to prove that she's mentally well. And it's how do you prove something like that when all of the lawyers are on your paycheck and they're just wanting to get more money out of you?
Mm-hmm.
Or Yeah, I can agree with that. And I like what Ryzen said in chat. That is why child stars need good mentors. Like what Henry Cavill did with Millie Bobby Brown. I can agree with
Wait,
that.
what? What
Oh, the
happened?
No, Drake groomed her. You gotta watch out for that shit.
Drake groomed her? I thought, wait a minute. Hold on. I
He
thought that was
messaged. He was
false.
also a child star. I
Yeah.
think if anything, he was probably like, "Don't get into your room with this person."
I heard you're working with
Wait
this
till you're
guy.
18.
Don't.
One series on Netflix that talked about it was Hollywood set in the 50s. I watched
Oh
that.
yeah, no, we stopped watching that because it got too much of all they were doing is having gay sex every
Yes,
scene.
because that's what was happening back then.
Well, I
The
get you, but like I understand like one episode, but when you watch 5 episodes of like guys forcing other guys to have sex with them, you're like, this isn't a very good TV show. This is like a limited series.
But what about Tiger King?
Exactly. Tiger King was a limited series. It wasn't a long running TV show.
Okay, fair.
I hope that Brittany gets the help that she needs, and I'll be right here. Hashtag free Britney.
Hashtag free Britney.
All
I
I
think
can say is leave Britney alone.
I get Chris Crocker now. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
What were you saying, NJ?
No, I just hope that she gets the help that she needs. And that documentary was a really good watch, and it's on Hulu if anybody else wants to watch it.
Yeah. You know what else you
and
can
if
watch?
boss bitch Paris is, you can watch her documentary on YouTube.
Ooh, she looked great in
She
that doc.
did.
She looked fantastic. Go Paris.
I've watched about half of it, and it does a lot of what Britney's doc does is kind of go back into her childhood, explain certain things. And the way she has come out on top is amazing. And I really hope that Paris is in a position to help Britney.
I'm gonna totally steal Alan's segue and go, you know what else is awesome to watch? NASA landing another rover.
Thank you, Ethan.
Yes. So last year in July, they launched Perseverance.
Perseverance.
There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Perseverance. I forgot.
First.
I forgot words for a second. And I can't blame it on knowing another language. But they launched it and it reached Mars and it landed 3 days ago. And landing was successful. Everybody at NASA was super pumped and jazzed. And we finally got images back. And you can definitely check it out. Also, want to let you guys know NASA has a Twitch, which is cool as fuck.
They do? Is it
Yeah,
is it just NASA?
I posted it in the Naked Pod discussion
Yes,
channel
NASA.
in Discord. So what this rover is doing is basically looking for evidence of life, like a microbe, things like that. Like our technology is there because we've had Mars rovers in the past, and now they're searching for a little bit more. So I am pumped. I am jazzed for this to. Yeah. Yes, Ryzen, we are major space nerds.
Yeah.
The pictures in our About Me panels are from NASA.
I even have a
So-
NASA hoodie.
So on this rover, do you think it's a waste of time and money?
I don't think so. I mean,
I think so.
we need to learn more about the planets around us, even their history. We
No,
learned
I
a
get
lot
you
from
that-
history. Go ahead.
Like we literally are planning to send people there though. So what is this rover going to tell us any different than the 3 other ones that are already active on?
So this one will actually give us a little bit insight on conditions to have life on Mars. Like, is it possible? So I'm excited for that. And I want to say that we actually saw this spacecraft when we were at NASA
Mhm.
last February.
Yeah, we did.
Ooh.
We saw a
so-
model.
We got to see with our eyes like what what's actually on Mars right now.
I got to touch it.
I know that there is a tinfoil hat conspiracy about a war going on near Jupiter. So if anything, like, come on, let's beef up our space travel. We got a war that is inevitable. Just kidding. Don't.
Yeah, so it's funny because at the end of 2020 is when Juno finally started exploring around Jupiter.
Mm.
So it's shooting out probes onto Europa, Jupiter, and the other moons of or of Jupiter. And so it's like way more interested in that than Mars because it's like, come on, we're already on the way to Mars, you know? Like the only thing holding us
Something
back.
happening with the Eye of Jupiter.
Well, yeah, the storm's starting to go out.
What?
Mm.
Yeah, by
Really?
2040, they believe the storm's going to be gone. It would be what? So far, Galileo in what 1492? No, that was Ocean Blue. That was Christopher Columbus. So
Ocean Blue.
Galileo was Greek. So during the Greek heyday, when he discovered Jupiter, the thing that he did, the first thing he noticed was the eye of Jupiter. That was
Oh.
the eye of God.
I didn't know that. I'm not gonna lie. Also, Ryzen is saying that there's a theory that microbes from Mars fell to Earth.
Yeah, I've heard that. No, Ryzen, you got to read the Jupiter space war theory. That's where it's at right now.
We need to make tinfoil hats for this reason, so we can put them on and let everybody know that we're talking about conspiracy theories.
So for next episode, can we all just like make our best tinfoil hat?
I'm down.
Okay, cool.
I'm done.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ryzen, like that's the cool part is that, yeah. So technically, I think you can fit all of the inner planets inside of the eye of Jupiter. But over the last 20 years, they've been tracking it. It is on a declining path. And by 2040, they believe it will dissipate completely.
Hmm.
So the question is, what's going to happen?
Will we finally get to
So-
see the surface of
No. So
It's a gas planet.
yeah, so we don't know what's under the clouds because you can't. We haven't been able to penetrate the sulfur. It's a sulfur-based atmosphere, so we haven't been able to penetrate it all the way. Like we've hit the ground,
Mhm.
but that's it.
Oh,
Like
so
we're
there's
like, hey, we got a piece of metal to hit the ground. That's all we can do. We don't have breathings or anything else.
Fair.
But yeah, so it's really weird. I know we're talking about Mars and I'm going off on Jupiter, but
We're talking
so
about space.
Earth and Mars or the size were protected by Jupiter when it was formed. So it pulled all the crap away from the Earth and Mars that would have destroyed them more or less, like asteroids and other things. So
Shit.
the reason that we would be able to explore Mars is because of Jupiter. That's why some people do believe that Jupiter is a god. So
That's why Jupiter's Greek name is Hera, right? No.
That's why boys go
no,
to
no,
Jupiter.
Jupiter. Yeah, Jupiter is the Greek name. The Roman name,
German name, yeah.
yeah, was changed. But yeah, so they believe that Jupiter was God, that then there was the eye of God, and then the 6 moons that were noticeable at that time were the other gods, the minor gods. But yeah,
I like how we have to
so
have major in my. What were you saying, NJ? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. A fun fact about Jupiter, I just read this, is that some astronomers call Jupiter a failed star, but it's
Mhm.
not really appropriate description. While it's true, like a star, Jupiter is rich in hydrogen and helium. Jupiter does not have nearly enough mass to trigger a fusion reaction. Um, so, but it does have an enormous sense of gravity. So, if something were to happen in Jupiter, like I don't know, like just thinking like a crazy idea, like if it just like exploded or collapsed on itself, what would that do to the gravity pull that we have for our own sun? Like,
it
like
wouldn't affect it. So
wouldn't
Jupiter's outside. So Jupiter's far enough away that. So wait, I was just watching this documentary on it. That's why. So let's say
That's why
like,
he's so knowledgeable.
the moon of Jupiter, Europa, and you can check this. It is about the same size as the Earth, and it is about the same size or same distance that the Earth is from the sun. It's from Jupiter. So Jupiter is more or less its own little mini solar system inside of our solar system. It just never caught because it was made from the leftovers of the sun.
That's what happens when you hire Martians to do a crap unsanctioned job. You get Jupiter. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, and that's why Jupiter and Uranus or Uranus is both mostly in Saturn are all mostly gassy because those are all the leftover gases that our sun kind of threw out and didn't want.
So, but they do catch a lot of like asteroids and stuff that would be on its like trajectory to Earth or Mars, right?
Well, yeah, because of Jupiter's positioning and its size and how it developed, it actually protected the Earth, and it is the reason or life was able to start on the Earth because it acts as a giant shield.
A perfect chain of events.
Ryzen
It's-
says that Jupiter is a slingshot. And I remember hearing that at one point in time, astronomers got really worried that it was either Jupiter or Saturn would collide with Pluto because they were literally about to collide.
Well, we've never well, I shouldn't say that. We haven't been able to track an entire rotation of Pluto yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I mean, around the sun or...
Yeah, one
Okay.
rotation. It's like 235 or 236 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And we
That's
haven't had the
different ones.
technology to track it that long just yet.
Pluto
What-
is a planet.
It is. It's a dwarf planet.
Come at us, Neil
They-
deGrasse
They
Tyson.
reclassified it.
What's
So
up?
yeah,
Fucking
it was a
asshole.
planet. Then they declassified it to an like
A dwarf planet.
interstellar body, and
Mhm.
then they brought it back up to a dwarf planet.
Neil deGrasse Tyson was afraid of us.
Yeah. If you really want to see something cool that's going on, is I think it's either this year we're launching a spacecraft that's going to go the closest to the sun any object that we have had has gone, and it's going to it's going to orbit the sun and get better readings of what's actually going on.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Fancy.
You know what's being released this year that's kind of causing a pain for everyone, at least in the cryptocurrency community? I realize you
More
guys see
Bitcoin.
Twitter. More Bitcoin.
So we all checked out.
No, don't check out. So
So Alan, you have 15 minutes to talk. Go.
all right. So let me put the close up on because I always neglect to close up myself. You guys know what cryptocurrency is. Most people know it on like a base layer. Well, Nvidia has decided to release video cards, specific CPM cards. CPM stands for Cryptocurrency Process Manager. Process module. And these cards, they won't produce any video. They don't do anything else except for process advanced mathematical algorithms that equate to a portion or an entire whole piece of a cryptocurrency coin. Now,
Wait, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna
Mhm.
stop you.
mhm.
What exactly is a crypto coin? Like,
A
What,
crypto
like,
A
what is
coin.
it?
decentralized form of currency.
Funny.
So
internet money.
basically, so
So according to the ad I see from you
Internet
can get a
money.
debit card now. It is the safest.
it is. So a cryptocurrency coin, it is a result of an advanced mathematical algorithm that only video cards can process to create a cryptographic hash. A cryptographic hash, or CHF, is a mathematical algorithm that maps data of an arbitrary size, often called a message, to a specific set of characters and a fixed size. So it has to be a certain amount of characters, it has to be a certain amount of size for it to be considered a cryptocurrency coin. Now, these video cards can be used to process the mathematical algorithm, any mathematical algorithm for any coin. And that's kind of the reason why graphic cards are really, really scarce right now. It's because all of these cryptocurrency miners are trying to pick them up. And Nvidia's trying to do the right thing by releasing a standalone cryptocurrency card. But a lot of the miners resell their cards once they're done with them because they can't process any more data. Their only use is to actually provide video functionality. I can't say functionality. There you go. For gamers. And that's kind of where we are now, especially in the gaming market, as you know, we all own computers. It's been really difficult to find Norma a video card because all these guys keep picking these cards up. But Nvidia
Yeah.
hopes that this will
Let me get a
alleviate that.
PC.
Is that why everyone gets so excited for those like $5,000 graphics cards?
Yes.
Oh my god! I just
That's
watched
why.
Peach and I just watched this video about this like super stupid expensive like card, and it has like terabytes of room on it, but it's really dumb.
So what is the 3070
The 3070, that's a video card.
Chuganubba is talking about?
Oh, check it out.
Isn't it everybody's been
Ooh.
all about lately? No.
What?
What was that?
Nobody knows what you said.
70, the one that everybody's been all about.
So that's the GTX 3070. That's a video card that Nvidia produces. There's only two video card manufacturers. One's owned by Intel, the other is owned by AMD. Well, not owned, they use the technology, but it's Nvidia and Radeon, sorry. Nvidia and Radeon. Those are the only two companies that really produce the technology for us to make these graphic processing units, these graphics cards, like the one that's hanging right there. That's a video card. That's my first one. But they have so many gigabytes of RAM. Like the 3070 has 16 gigabytes of just video RAM. That's what all of these miners are looking for. They're looking for this really good processing power. And going back to what Nvidia is doing, I really think it's kind of a cash cow for them to bank on, because one, it alleviates their gaming video cards to just gamers. They're locking those cards down so they only produce half of the hash instead of the full hash. So that can really fuck with people, especially if they're on their way to getting a full coin, a full Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin's at what, $40,000 right now? And it only takes like 6 to 8 hours to process, sometimes even more. Imagine only getting half of a coin, half of a value that can equate to $50,000 or $40,000.
I mean, but
So many.
if I pay 25 or if I pay $5,000 for a video card and I make 25,000 off of it, I'm not going to complain
Mhm.
because I can make a lot of money with 20 grand.
But
You know
are
what I
you
mean?
but are you making all that money because you're having
Well,
to
I don't
run
know
these
how I don't know how to mine.
Good point. So let me give you some of the background on how to mine. In order to mine, you need a computer like mine or like yours. You need to slap 4 different video cards on it. You need to slap the biggest fucking wattage power supply unit just to push power to them. So in reality, you're spending like $9,000 to $12,000 on components, on electricity, on power alone, and you're only making so much back.
And
if
once it's mined all that data, the video card is done, right?
the video card can continue to be used, but it can no longer produce new hashes.
Mm.
So they have a life expectancy when you're considering mining, but that's what Nvidia is trying to do. And I was watching a Linus Tech Tips video earlier about it, and doing some in-depth research. He mentioned one thing that really stuck out to me is that these new cards, all they're going to do is create more e-waste. Like the most that we can get off of any electrical component, like that motherboard right there, other than sitting on my wall, is gold. That's the only viable thing, in the copper. Everything else, like the PCB, that's a portion of wood, silicone, small amounts of metal that you can pull off of, but it's really difficult. So they're just sitting in the landfill.
Why can't you recycle it more? Like, so I've never tried to recycle, e-waste, but like plastics, right?
Mhm.
So I've built a couple plastic recovering units,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they take, like the one I did, they took if Toyota makes a bumper and it has a small little imperfection, they sell it to these people for 10 cents a pound,
Mhm.
right? And then they grind it up. They run it through a mill. It comes out the other side, little plastic pellets, which they
Mhm.
melt back down, make new
Mhm.
bumpers out of, right?
Mhm.
So if those are silicon-based products, why can't they be processed back into silicon?
Because it's different types of plastic. You know, like the remember how we talked about the whole recycling thing? There's there's different types of plastic. The only types of plastic that we're able to reuse is what I don't
Well,
remember what they call them. It's one,
we can
3, 5, and
reprocess all of
7.
them. It's just not all cost effective. We only
That
process the
too.
cost effective ones.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally, so like when they do the bumpers, right?
Mm.
You'll get three different. So this machine got three different layers. So it would literally they float. They have different uh density. I can't even say that.
Density.
Buoyancies.
Oh.
They had different. Each form of plastic has a different buoyancy.
Mm-hmm.
So they just set it up to extract at that level of the water tank, and then it came out. So there is a way to filter it, like regular plastics. You can filter, or you can grind, cut, and filter out. So, like, what's stopping us from, processing and recovering from these motherboards?
Honestly, that's a question that's way above my pay grade. I'll be straight with you. Like, we
I just
should
work
be
here.
able. I just work here, man. I'm just a stream. No. Jokes aside,
It's like science isn't even trying.
I don't think it's thought that science is
Ryzen just tries
not
to see
trying.
me. I hide myself behind my mic. Okay, leave
You
me
know,
alone.
oh,
Just show him the beard.
Yeah. Stroke it. Give it a beard stroke.
I haven't brushed it today. It's all
Beard
like
porn.
I literally came home. I got like mud all over me. I was taping floating.
I got
came
my video
home,
card
I
here.
put a different shirt on and I sat down.
So I have my video card here. I honestly don't think that the reason that we're not recycling these plastics isn't because science isn't there. I think it's because the industry isn't there yet. Like you're right. There's a lot of use for a lot of the plastics that we do, and we do depend on the buoyancy of the plastics as to what we can use with them. But add beer stroke to the options. Okay, there. But like this, if I were to use this as a mining video card, and then I'm done with it, I can resell it. The new cards that Nvidia is putting out, all you can do is mine with them. All these export things here are gone. It's just a metal thing, and that's it. It's just gonna create more e-waste.
Are these video cards a good thing or a bad thing, do you think? Because is it better to take the cards, mine them, and then resell them to be reused,
Mm-hmm.
or to just make cards to mine?
I think that this is a bad move because all you can do is mine with the new ones. You can mine and resell these for future use for other people. Like there's a ton of older generation cards on sale right now on eBay for less than $200. Like you can get yourself a nice 2070 for less than 200 because it's been used and been pushed to its edge and beyond because of crypto mining. A lot of these cards do go under heavy stress, so I do see a lot of people
NJ,
not wanting to
Keelan, write
buy
that down.
them.
Write that down.
Write that down.
I'm not your secretary.
Y'all are too looking for video cards. I have one.
You're right.
Hey, I'm the one that's looking for her. She's getting a brand new card, okay?
I was looking on Amazon and I was like, oh, are these where it says like buy from other sellers? Like that's what I was doing. Is that what they're doing?
All the fucking video cards on Amazon are buy from other sellers. The ones on eBay are at least better price, but they're still above the price that the manufacturers put them at. And these new cards, they're not going to help anyone else.
I don't even remember what card I have. Hold on, let me look at the box.
You have an RTX 580. Sorry, you have an RX
I had to
580.
order mine from Japan to avoid scalper prices.
Chug, that's a great fucking idea.
How many
Well,
points stroke be?
Ooh.
2,000 millennial biddies.
Nah, that's too much.
What do you
Like
mean?
1,000. No,
1,000
it's not.
1,500.
Compromise.
I don't know where the box went. Alan, do you remember what card I bought?
Yes, FSX XFX Radeon RX 580.
So can I mine with that?
You technically can, but you only have 8 gigabytes of RAM. And as soon as you're done mining with it, you can't really do anything else. And you're going to have to go into learning how to manipulate power input, manipulate processing power, manipulate how much data you're pushing through that processor. It's a whole fucking thing. Like it's a science on its own that I half understand. But a lot of the miners are doing their best to try to preserve their cards so they can resell them.
Yeah, well, you know,
Yeah.
you don't want to get a rep for selling bad cards. 'Cause
Yeah.
then you won't sell anymore.
Mhm. It ultimately comes down to the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. There's a reason recycle is all the way at the bottom. You want to reduce your carbon footprint, you want to reuse as much as you can, and you want to recycle if you can't do anything else. That's why this card sits on my wall. I'm using it for my wall. But
Art.
for art, yes.
And then your other one got reused because you gave it to Keelan.
Mm-hmm. I have a 980 over here in one of the computers that a friend of mine gave me that I'm going to use for our video editing computer after I build Norma's computer, and I hope to find a nice either new or used card for Norma, for NJ to use. Hell, mine's used. The RX 580 that I have is a used card. It was used for mining and it works great. I have no issues.
Keelan, did you ever get your case, or did they ever?
Yeah.
I have no update as of now. I did go ahead and request a refund, but they said it might.
So
So
yeah, fingers crossed it still shows up at the front door.
Cha-ching.
like, it would just be nice if they updated it in some way. The last scanning it had was when it left the Illinois warehouse. It was supposed to arrive last Wednesday, and even on Wednesday they were like, products should show up today before this time, and I'm like, but it hasn't even made it to our Amazon warehouse. As of now, it's just saying delayed in transit.
I have a soapbox rant about mail.
Oh yeah, I'm
So,
off my soapbox. Sorry guys.
I use Jules and I have auto ship, and it was supposed to be like delivered by a certain date, and I'm like, it's not here and there's been no movement. So I chatted with them and I was like, hey, like I haven't got my shipment in. It's supposed to be here today, but there hasn't been any movement in like a week. And the girl's like, oh, okay, it's supposed to get delivered today. And I was like, yeah, I know that, but there's no movement. And the last place it was in Georgia. And she's like, oh yeah, it's in Georgia, but it should be delivered by today. And I was like, it's 4 p.m. now.
You can't teleport from Georgia to
2,000
Texas.
miles away.
Because my auto ship came from Kentucky and it did arrive today.
Mine
What?
went from like Kentucky to Georgia, back to Kentucky, and this is before the Snowmageddon happened. And then it eventually showed up. So thanks for the extra Jewel pods, Jewel.
We are not sponsored by Jewel. Want to put that out
So
there.
this might be a total rumor, but the guy at 7-Eleven by my house told me that 7-Eleven's sent out a memo that they might not carry Jewel anymore. That something's happening with Jewel itself.
Yeah, they've been under a lot of scrutiny since I guess being charged with promoting advertising to minors. Hey Ryzen, I have Prime too. So there's kind of that.
Here's my thing about that. They banned flavors on a federal level, but not for vaping, just for Juul pods and nicotine stuff. And so it makes no sense because they're like, oh, these flavors promote to children and now they can get their hands on it. And it's like, well, first of all, children, I remember my parents telling me about smoking in the bathroom, smoking behind the school, and your USB device.
See, when my parents went, they had a smoking section at the school. Like they
Just pull
I
up
have
in your
been-
truck, park. Hey
I ha-
Timmy, I'm gonna go smoke. What's up, NJ?
I haven't I haven't like been a cigarette free as long as Puzzled has, but I'm coming up on my 6-month mark of being cigarette free, and like right now, like I'm on 3%. So like I'm weaning myself off. Like for a while there, I was like kind of teetering between like a 5% nicotine level and a 3% nicotine level. And now I'm like on a 3% and I feel pretty good. Except when I get really stressed and then I'm like, oh my God. I would really love a cigarette right now. But I don't do it. And I mean, like had I had it would have been fun to have other options, but my goal was to quit smoking cigarettes, period. So it's helped me, and I really hope it doesn't go away. Juul doesn't go away, but yeah, it would be nice to have watermelon instead of like it tastes like sweet tea to me.
International website that will ship here and has the flavors. I'm in the Juul subreddit, so I know a lot of people, they'll buy from like Russian websites and they'll be like, hey guys, is this real? Is this fake? So I'd love to be able to find a trusted website that I could order flavors from.
I didn't know
That's
there was so
awesome, Devils.
manufacturing.
Shout out 5 years nicotine free.
Nice, Devil.
Yes.
5 years.
Hey guys, just spam our OM hype for both NJ and Devils for
And
and Puzzled. I'm sorry, Puzzled, for being nicotine.
What about me? I
you never
haven't
smoked
dipped.
cigarettes.
You never
I
smoked
know, but I haven't
cigarette.
dipped in 3 years.
You dipped?
Keelan made me stop.
Yay.
Yay! And and crazy. Just go crazy, guys.
It was also like I got nicotine poisoning that one time, and I was like, I will never use another nicotine product ever again.
You got nicotine poisoning, really?
Yeah, so me, Dave, and Mo went to the lake, and I got drunk, and I put it in a pouch, and then I forgot, and I put another pouch in, and it was a brand new can. And then somebody said, "Oh, look, you have 2 pouches in. You should just do a horseshoe." And I was like, "Sure, that's a great idea." And so I put a 3rd pouch in, and then yeah, it went bad.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
You
Well,
learned
I
though,
mean, at
right?
least something, yeah, so at least something good came out of it. We also now know that Crazy will definitely do a dare.
You know, when we went live, I had put in our tweet, ask Crazy about his wiener, and no one has asked him about his wiener. So I'm gonna break this. Crazy, I'm gonna ask you about your wiener.
Heard good things. No complaints. I mean, I've heard some really good things, but I always believe women are lying when it comes to talking about dicks. So
No one gets the reference. Accepted. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
we got it.
Okay. Cool.
Ask me about my wiener.
Can we also add that to the watch night list?
So
After we watch Anchorman 2.
just so y'all know, one of the official millennials has expressed concern about Will Ferrell movies. They're not a big fan. So we have to space out Will Ferrell movies. That was what was asked.
Fine, Puzzled. Just kidding. I'll call you out.
Yeah. Look. I even got her
Because
closed up.
You had a great idea with Talladega Nights, but my heart's set on old school.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're my boy, Blue.
Uncut
We're gonna-
version.
We're gonna thumb wrestle that one. Like we can only have one Will Ferrell movie.
One a month.
I just showed Peach that movie for the first time like
Did we
a couple
finish
months
it?
ago.
I don't remember
Mm.
finishing it.
Yeah, you didn't finish it.
He finished.
Okay, if we could only have one Will Ferrell movie, kicking and screaming, okay, we're all good.
I've actually never seen that one.
No, Step Brothers. No?
Kicking and screaming. No. So when we want to do a John C. Reilly movie, Step Brothers.
Okay.
Loopholes.
No, John C. Reilly, Chicago.
Ooh, I love Chicago. Cellophane.
Can I be pantsless?
Mr. Cellophane.
You can be pantsless. Nobody's on video.
Yeah.
We do have exciting news though while we're wrapping up. Our next community game night will be March 26th. So usually our usual start time 7:30. So more information to come. I'll post something in the community game night channel on our Discord. And that Nightbot, it has perfect timing. So if you're not in our Discord, please join it so you can be up to date with all things official millennials.
Hey, Ethan, who are we having on Circular Jerks this week?
The good old boy, Cage Matic.
I'm so excited.
I know. I've been slacking, and I finally we talk on Discord, and
Mhm.
he interacts in our streams, but I haven't gone and sat down and watched one of his whole streams, and I did that the other day. I was enjoying myself.
You were enjoying yourself. What was he playing?
Yeah. That game he's playing right now,
Valheim.
Valorant? Yeah,
Valheim?
Valheim.
NJ gave that to me today. She gifted it to me on Steam, and I'm excited to start playing it later.
So
Thank you,
sweet.
NJ. You're the best.
So I did a permadeath game of No Man's Sky, and then I was fucking around, and I found out real quick that 14 hours later, hey, I accidentally fell off a ledge, died, and now I lost 14 hours. So I made the better decision of playing survival mode, which is everything the same, except if you die, they just wipe everything on your body, not the whole save itself.
Okay, not bad.
Ooh,
Good.
Snickerbass is a fan. You guys should start up after Minecraft. You guys should do a Valheim server.
I know I haven't logged into Minecraft in forever.
I was about to ask when the last time you logged into Minecraft was, because I've been doing some serious work on the base. Like, I made a water treatment room, I made a lava reservation room, I made a growing room, I made a production room. I'm currently in the middle of making a bathhouse in our base. I made a kitchen. I've done a fuck ton of stuff, dude. You need to log in.
What about a brick house?
Oh no, it's a brick
She's
castle.
a brick house.
working 6 days a week plus doing all of this doesn't leave a lot of Minecraft time.
Yeah.
Fair. I only play like when I have time during. Don't tell work.
Who should we raid, guys?
Let's see who's on.
Devils, if you need help getting into our Minecraft server, message me and I can help you. Okay? I promise.
Cage Matic is actually streaming right now. So since we did a shout out and we gave him some love, I say we raid him.
Perfect.
Awesome. Do we have anything else to shout out, guys? I know I'll be streaming on Friday, but who else is streaming this week?
Me.
What are you streaming, NJ? Oh, sorry. wait. No, let's start with Puzzled, because Puzzled streams first. What are you streaming this week, Puzzled?
I'll be back at it with Catalyst. If my PC case does come in, we'll probably bump back to Terra, rock around with that for a little bit. If not, we will be back at it with the Final Fantasy.
So how opposed would you be to streaming your PC build? I think this would be hilarious to watch. Puzzled putting together a PC.
Oh my
Puzzled
goodness.
PC time.
I don't
know. We'll think of a good name.
I was actually considering asking NJ if she'd like to stream her PC build once we get all the parts. Speaking of which, you guys want to see the parts? Oh wait, no, we don't have time.
Well, we have limited time. I will be finishing up my art projects on Thursday, and then on March 19th, we have book club. We're reading Delirium. Details are on the website.
Bugged, you were here.
Bugged. Thanks for coming, bro.
What was that, Puzzled?
I was gonna say, You Heard also has a very special announcement coming up. We haven't fleshed out all the details yet, but we are working on it, and we are super excited to share it with all of y'all. Just kidding.
No, keep going. We're still streaming, so I can just edit it out. So it'll be in the video.
Oh, we were sent to Cage's page.
Oh shoot.
Remember when Bog tried to fight me?
I'm sorry, puzzled.
It's okay.
Y'all doing okay with everything going on? Y'all made it through.
Yeah, we're fine. I think more mentally, I've been beat up the last couple of days than anything, and I just like I'm really looking forward to getting to see my mom tomorrow, and then not really doing anything after that.
That was Keelan said that Julie's been really enjoying the book club. That was cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.